Hey amazing hackers, this episode is sponsored by the Cybersecurity Hat, the ultimate hacking platform where you can learn in a fun and a practical way using exclusive frameworks that unlock amazing possibilities. In the description of this video, you will find all details for my special code on the Cybersecurity Hacked products. Just use R19 at checkout and enjoy. Hello, everyone. I am Milton, and welcome to R19.io podcast. Today is very special episode. For the first time, we have a young hacker on the show. Our guest is only 15 years old, but he started hacking at age of 9. And at 11, he even hacked Google. Yeah, bro, you don't listen wrong. It's really at 11 he even hacked Google. He's now a security researcher at HackerOne, a mentor for IT students, and he holds the title of the youngest ethical hacker in Ninja. Please welcome Pavitra. Please say something to the audience.
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone. My name is Pavitra. I'm 15 years old and I'm freelance offensive security researcher, just as Milton said. And accordingly, I have Hall of Fame from Google, Oracle, MoonPay, and so. Further going on, I hold the title just as he explained. And I'm like more
Mhm.
into source code review and binary exploitation. Like I do have knowledge in a wide variety of domains, but the most in which I specialize in are mostly source code review and binary exploitation.
Okay, okay. And let me know how you started in cybersecurity when you were just 9. How did that your journey begin for you? Let me know about that. I'm really, really curious about.
So basically, I started not even at like I started hacking at the age of 9. Before that, I was learning programming languages by the age of 7. So at that time, my brother was pursuing a diploma and diploma in computer science, and he used to teach me various languages like C and other stuff, such stuffs. Though at that age,
Mhm.
I definitely didn't understood many of them, but like persistence paid off. So
Okay.
like
It's it, it's really amazing, bro. It's really amazing. I'm sorry for that, but I'm until now surprised with your age and with all the achievements that you reached so far. It's really really fucking amazing, bro.
thanks a lot.
Yeah,
But, uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, please.
to be honest, I don't really like to like flex or something. But I just love to hack. Like when I even started, I didn't even knew that recognition sort of stuff existed in this exact field. Okay, like I had started out of
Mm-hmm.
pure curiosity, and like I had
Mm-hmm.
a good luck, I guess. That's what we say it,
Mm-hmm.
because even my brother helped me, and somehow we all managed to convince my mom and dad that
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a thief, and the stuffs I'm doing are legal. Because obviously parents have a concern that whether you are doing legal stuffs or not, and when they hear the word
Okay.
hacking, it's always almost like, oh, are you hacking banks and stuff like that. So we had to clear that
Okay.
misconception a lot,
Okay.
to ensure that I would not do something illegal and such stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, I know that. I know that. I really trust in you. And at only 11 years old, you hacked Google. Can you share how you found the bug and what the impact there was? Because like this, it's really amazing. You like you said, okay, you don't did anything or nothing illegal here, but let me know how you found this bug and what this impacted. what this impact was. I'm really really curious about.
Like I started at 9, as I said. For the like everyone has this wish to hack Google. Okay, who doesn't want to do it?
Okay.
So I was like, let's do it. Let's try. Let's see. And at that point, I was learning many stuffs, new stuffs. I was learning,
Mm-hmm.
and at that time, I guess it was the scope wasn't all that secured as compared to now, because right now it's really very robust. But at that point, it was pretty easy as compared to right now to hack Google. And at that age I was like, I did found many subdomains and stuff like that. And one of my scanner popped this is vulnerable like flag. And I was curious, like, there isn't really a possibility that a scanner can find a vulnerability in Google. Okay, so I checked, and obviously it was false positive. And like
Mm-hmm.
like that moment I felt that no, if there like at that point I felt really bad, and I felt like, no man, I can really do this. And it went on to my ego, to be honest. Like
Okay.
I was like, I have to hack Google anyhow. And I started grinding. Like I did all the like I have a proper checklist I have accumulated over the years. And
Okay.
at that time, I literally do. I find a lots of subdomain. That like my main methodology usually is that I if there is a it like it depends on the target. First off, I try to find as many
Mm-hmm.
subdomains as possible. Use as many techniques like
Mm-hmm.
scraping out the JavaScript and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
I try to find many subdomains. Then I manually review every one of them and try to interconnect every subdomain, like, and the functionalities. Even if you see a 404 error page, I feel that the company isn't really stupid to just deploy them and scrape them out. Like it does have a meaning. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that we haven't digged deep enough to find it. And at that age, like I found a subdomain which was dev something like that. Like I don't really remember properly. And it was
Mm-hmm.
it was a development environment at that. And
Mm-hmm.
further, like I found an SSRF. Okay, that
Mm-hmm.
development environment wasn't really a software they had deployed. It was an internal tool they were using. um, and that was just in deployment environment. Okay, like that was just a test
Mm-hmm.
environment, you could say. And in that test
Mm-hmm.
environment I saw that they have given a lots of privilege to that specific environment, but it's that I am unable to access any of them. I can see that there is a
Okay.
portal without even logging in. I can see that there are tools, there are stuffs like I can write codes and they get executed, compiler sort of stuffs, and that I wasn't really able to access most of them. But as I reviewed the entire thing, I found that there was a parameter which was like internally fetching through a link that which are the projects they have deployed here. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I found that interesting, and I tried to change it with a lots of stuff. And like I wasn't really able to exploit the SSRF till that point. But then I felt that let's try the website itself. Like the if I am unable to access the internal IP addresses and stuffs, then there is a pretty good chance that I might be able to access the URLs that I wasn't able to access, the tools that I saw previously. And when I tried them, it was a boom. And I was able to access and get the uh, code execution sort of environment. And the
Oh my
codes,
goodness.
yes. Then using burp suit, I tried to execute who am I, and I saw a whole chunk of like ID stuff. Like I didn't really understood because it was obviously an internal user ID. But then I reported it to Google, and it got flagged as a P2, because it was still in a very isolated and a less privileged RCE that I had found. But it was still an code execution. So I was obviously given a P2 and a severity of S2. And
Okay.
that's how I got the Hall of Fame. But the thing is that at that point, it wasn't like in their scope. Okay, it ended up with
Mm-hmm.
not being in scope, and such that I only got the Hall of Fame. and not the
Mm-hmm.
leaderboard one. I have After that I found many bugs to get into the leaderboard, and accordingly I got into the leaderboard eventually. Like that was
Okay.
my honorable mentions entry, and after that the many bugs I found, I it helped me to get into the leaderboard.
Yeah, you literally found one basically remote code execution at Google. This is really, really amazing, bro. It's really, I'm really proud for you because with this age, many guys, okay, usually to know nothing about that. And during this time, already hacking and really, really a hard thing because, like you said, in the first time, you found one server started request forgery, and with many other steps, you basically gain one remote code execution. And this is really, really amazing, bro. Really, I'm really proud and okay, many languages like Python, JavaScript, C++, and even Solidity, I think so. How do you decide which language to use when testing or building something?
Like for exploit development, usually it's Python. For
Mm-hmm.
when in condition I wanna test a few stuffs regarding like I want to simulate environment or simulate a situation regarding the research I'm doing, like the target I'm researching on. If I want to like do proper research around it, I first off try to simulate the exact same situation in C and C++, because with the
Mm-hmm.
same memory management and stuffs like that. Um, then
Mm-hmm.
further, it depends actually. Like most of the time, it's Python and C++ that I use. Like Go when I want fast execution, but mo honestly, it's Python that I use the most. Uh,
Okay, okay. And you study V2 and Turbofan too, Turbofan internals.
V8 and
Why
stuff.
is it important for hackers to understand how JavaScript engine work inside? It's really one question that I have for you because this is really okay. Many people don't know about V8 or Turbo for internals, and let me know about that.
Basically, it was to hunt. Obviously, I was hunting on
Hmm.
V8, so I had to learn V8 internals. But for in general hackers, what I felt is that like there are many vulnerabilities. For example, we take prototype pollution, and in that situation, it basically states that the entire JavaScript is an object. But if we know how it is working at a lower level, we can practically understand and gain a better understanding of how prototype pollution is actually working in those object level languages. And accordingly, I can say that V8 actually helps in understanding how is JavaScript working at a lower level, such that the vulnerabilities you find through JavaScript code reviews and stuff, you can gain a better understanding of them at a lower level, which would help you gain more perspectives. And I believe that the more perspectives you have, the more vulnerabilities you can find. And by perspectives, I mean unique scenarios. Like for a hacker who has only done source code review or binary exploitation alone, and not is like a polymath. Uh, in many situations, a polymath would overtake them, cause the the guys who are versatile and have a lots of knowledge around the fields would be able to correlate and interconnect various stuffs that uh, like a single oriented master won't be able to.
Oh,
That's how I think. Like for example, there are situations when I encounter like websites which are essentially not accessible through my machine, but if you understand the website, it would most likely end up as IoT supporting website, or in certain conditions it is Android, the Android web view that it's rendering itself in. and like I am able to correlate and see that it's actually why is it's actually deployed, and why in a bigger scenario, why what significance it
Mm-hmm.
holds. That's how I
Okay.
think, and that's why I learn the internals and stuff, and even including
Yeah.
solidity and the
Okay. And
smart
and
control.
leverage this. Let's talk about fuzzing. How do you usually set up a fuzzing session, and what kind of results you have you seen? This is really interesting because the most part of techniques that you use usually need that to use the fuzzing techniques, not only to find subdomains, not only to find files, but sometimes to find um another answer from binary exploitations and things like that. And let me know how you usually set up fuzzing session.
So first off, I would like to know that whether you are asking about web application security fuzzing or in binary exploitation.
Yeah, it's free to talk about all of that, because
Okay,
it's
so in
in
terms of
general, yes, in general you can talk about not only for binary exploitation, but you can talk to for web exploitation. Yeah, this is both are interesting for us.
okay, so first, let's consider web application security. In web application scenarios, I guess the service you are using, if you build word lists that are revolving around the service, okay, they usually
Mm-hmm.
help
Mm-hmm.
a lot in mutative fuzzing, and you can like I believe the most of the time the interesting results that I get through fuzzing are not only through using generic fuzzers, but I usually try to move according to the web application. Like obviously I don't really code
Mm-hmm.
fuzzers daily like based on the target, but I do try to like automate the process of fuzzing such that I don't hit errors more often. Like for example, if there is a rate limit and I found that I have to wait for 2 seconds to actually
Mm-hmm.
do stuffs like that, then I would customize my fuzzer, or the directory brute forcing, or whatever the brute forcing scenario I'm in. I would try to customize it, and I would try to find keywords around the subdomains or around the service that is being deployed, and so it helps me in finding those stuffs. And going on to fuzzers for binary exploitation, I guess the most majority of the time the fuzzing, like to be honest, in binary exploitation, the
Mm-hmm.
most easy targets that I feel, the most
Mm-hmm.
easy targets are your PDF renderers, your
Sometimes it's easy for you, bro. To have many people that really have a problem to do, for example, fuzzing not only in web applications but in binary exploitation. But sometimes, okay, people, the most part of things that this guy that they say it's easy, sometimes it's easy for him. Okay, just okay, go ahead. Just this is just was a thought about.
so I was saying
Okay.
that for me as well. Okay, whatever. So I guess the best targets for fuzzing scenarios is, first you have to have a lot of resources. Like you need a lot of resources if you are targeting big targets, and you are targeting real like productional level. The PDF renderers and the Windows PDF renderers and stuff like that, you need a lot of resources, because usually your fuzzing process would not end with a 4 or 5 hour long session. It would end up with 15 or 20, and even in certain condition 40-hour sessions. So you need a proper server and rigs and such stuff to actually do fuzzing over these PDF renders, and like, to be honest, the easy targets that I meant were the file processing stuffs, because majority of the time those are skipped by usual guys, because it's not about input fuzzing. You have to make bespoke fuzzers, and make fuzzers according to the target, like the file format,
Mm-hmm.
and use the template sort of stuffs. Like for PDF, you have to make a PDF fuzzers. Like you have to make a fuzzer which generates a PDF according to the PDF's template and according to its syntax, and you that fuzzer should further go and try to fuzz the function for
Okay.
whatever it is. So
Okay.
like I believe that in such scenarios, like for Word, Excel, and PDF renderers, and the majority of the stuff that handles file processing, they are likely most prone to vulnerabilities that you would find through fuzzing. More than logical vulnerabilities, they depend upon fuzzing. So in that case, a condition, you have to make bespoke fuzzers, and that's what I believe around fuzzing. If you are thinking about using fuzzing for a longer period of time, and you have a lot of resources, you have got servers and rigs backing you up, you can surely try to hack them. Like you would find like not just a few CVEs, but you would end up with a few hundred CVEs. Okay,
Yeah, I got it.
because they are the most prone, that I believe.
Yes, I got it, and I really this is really really interesting, and you probably have worked with Fullchain, NCE, and sandbox scapes. I know that. Can you explain how you chain multiple small bugs into a full compromise? Let me say, and explain for the people how you
Like
manage this.
as I said, the more perspectives you have, the more you can. Uh, like for like if you are saying small vulnerabilities, now like I believe to gain an RCE, it is not essentially
Mm-hmm.
required to have the code vulnerable or the memory management level stuffs, or even the supply chain. You don't really need to like there doesn't needs to be a vulnerability that is already existing. But if you are like in a condition, if you are chaining multiple vulnerabilities, for example, you try to like you find a XSS in a PDF renderer,
Mm-hmm.
and you end up with suppose you do a lot of stuff, you try to escalate it to SSRF by trying to access the internal stuffs using that very XSS, because it's being rendered on a server level. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if that's the condition, you can use it to gain SSRF. And if you have gained SSRF and you have knowledge around cloud security, you can try to find
Mm-hmm.
out the metadata of
Mm-hmm.
AWS or Azure, or whatever the scenario is.
Mm-hmm.
And you can try, then you might end up with a few privileged accounts. Then you can further try to find multiple misconfigurations in those Azure scenarios and Azure setups, and you can like end up with an RCE. That's what I believe. Like the more perspective you have and the more creativity you have, like the more out of the box you can think, that's gonna help you in ending up with high severity vulnerabilities. Obviously, if you are just there to find vulnerabilities and end up with bugs, then you are not going to be able to find such vulnerabilities that are high severity, and not you would eventually end up with the loop that I see today, like the triage and the duplicate loop. I believe that most of the time it is because you are too oriented towards finding a vulnerability. You are not into finding the impact, or you are not actually producing a real world impact. You are just justifying the stuff. You don't have to justify, you just have to find a vulnerability which is enough impactful, which is actually what an APT or such national level hackers or government backed hackers would try to use. Okay, you have to just try to find
Mm-hmm.
vulnerabilities that black hat hackers, the original black hat hackers, that's been glamorized, uh,
Mhm.
those guys find and try to exploit are, you have to have a attacker mindset. Like, you just need to have a attacker mindset. You need to understand what is your vulnerability even doing. If you find an XSS and the cookies have same site and such attributes to it, then you are obviously not gonna get the severity you are expecting, because you are not really affecting any real thing and you are just ending up with an XSS. And XSS might sound really high or critical in certain scenarios, but unless you chain it and unless you are able to, suppose there is, you found an XSS, you found that the cookies have same site and you are not able to fetch the cookies, you would not get the severity, or might even end up with getting blocked at the triage process. But if you can chain it with, suppose, a CSRF scenario, okay, then in such
Okay.
conditions you can, obviously you can bypass such same site and the attributes you are having there, you can try to
Mhm.
bypass them and do such stuff.
Okay. Whoa. Yeah, this is how much more I talk with you, bro. I'm really, really surprised with your explanation about all the steps. And I know that you also do smart contract hacking. And what are the biggest, okay, this is really interesting to know about that. What are the biggest, okay, security risks you see in blockchain and DeFi today? Because, okay, usually people say that blockchain, when people talk about blockchain, people think, okay, blockchain is, okay, we have the measure of security, that we have many measures to protect this type of technology. And what are the biggest security risks you see?
Like in blockchain, to be honest, I feel that security awareness is not much in there. Like, the most of the time I see there are vulnerabilities which can be mitigated. For example, you are not limiting on how much the ethereum should be taken, or like, I won't go too deep in it, but I would say that the majority of the stuffs that I see in today's Jiffy and such blockchain scenarios is that the developers aren't really ready. Okay, because obviously blockchain is
Mm-hmm.
new, smart contract and stuffs like
Mm-hmm.
that have come in the recent years only. But I believe
Mm-hmm.
that there should be a proper secure code, like kind of thing, that should be taught when they are learning blockchain security, because most of the time those bugs are really simple as compared to how deep you go for web application security and binary exploitation security, like binary exploitation, memory corruption, and various stuffs like that. I believe that if a developer has enough knowledge of how to code a secure smart contract, smart contract, then in that condition you can actually mitigate about 60 to 70% vulnerabilities. Like,
Yeah, this is it's not only complex to understand smart contracts and hacking smart contracts or hacking blockchain. It's really, really another level, bro. And, it's really fucking amazing. And okay, and when you're testing mobile apps, IoT device, uh, what unique challenges do you face compared to classic web testing? Because, okay, sometimes when you're testing mobile apps, it's okay. It's really close than others, but when you test IoT devices and stuff like that, what the unique challenges do you face compared to classic web testing?
uh, I didn't really hear the question very well. Can you please say that again?
Okay. Let me. Can you hear me well right now?
Yeah, yeah, right
Yeah.
now I can hear you.
Okay, it's fine. Okay. Sure. My question was, When you're testing mobile apps or IoT device, what unique challenges do you face compared to classic web testing?
Okay. To be honest, I don't really test IoT devices all that much, cause
Okay.
I like to do a lot less hardware stuffs. Like I don't really like to mess
Mm-hmm.
with hardware all that much. I do know that
Mm-hmm.
IoT security is most of the time you need to find a lot of side channels. You need to do a lot of get a screwdriver and do a lot of stuff like that, and do firmware security. The firmware security I do it is cause it most of the time for firmware security ends up with being a binary exploitation scenario. That's why it is
Mm-hmm.
pretty interesting for me. As for saying for mobile application, I would say that there aren't really much of unique problems I see, because most of the time the vulnerabilities, the logic level vulnerabilities that are found are always within the sandbox, the broken link and stuffs like that. They are usually more
Mm-hmm.
oriented towards the Kotlin and the logic vulnerabilities present in the code and the stuffs like that. If you know Kotlin and if you have a proper understanding of a mobile application, and you have pretty good experience with web application security, most of the time you have a burp suit you have to use. Then I don't really see, like, almost it's just that you got to set up the mobile application for your burp suit. Aside from that, you have to know reverse engineering a bit well, because there are many anti-reversing situations, anti-reversing protections that are out there. But in any case,
Mm-hmm.
you just need to know reversing very well. You need to know the vulnerabilities very well. And I guess that the today's mobile application security is pretty easy as compared to web application security. And if you are starting your bug bounty journey, so I would actually recommend you to do mobile application security. And before even web application security, I guess you should actually try to learn web application mobile application security, because it's very easy to find mobile application security, vulnerabilities, mobile application vulnerabilities right now, because web
Mm-hmm.
application is pretty saturated right now, as much as I can see. But yeah, obviously you can find many vulnerabilities in web application, not that it's completely wiped out, but it's pretty hardened. The guys who do copy pasting won't really get that much output of it. But if you're a beginner and just starting, mobile application security is pretty good, because most of the time it's within sandbox, right? You don't really have to do sandbox escape and stuffs like that, and reach broadcast level, and actually cross application stuff. You don't have to do such stuffs like that. But obviously, intent redirection, and there are various vulnerabilities, I would say, that are out there, and it's really easy compared to web applications.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that because if you already studied web application testing, when you go to mobile web testings, it's more easy because you basically the most part of time use the same tools and the same techniques to exploit them. And I know that you are already helping the 10 cybercrime department. What kind of real world case have you worked on, and what did you learn from them? This because
Uh,
this is it's not normal for people that have only 15 years old.
at the in most of the investigations are non-disclosure, so I can't really go very deep into the investigations itself. But I can say the things that I learned from it were um, uh, most of the time the companies that came when they were hacked were that they vulnerabilities were the core reason. And I saw that how actually, I felt, I actually realized just how web application security is actually uh, affecting a company or an organization if it's actually not fixed, or not just from a bug hunter scenario, but I learned a lot of stuffs about from the startups that came, and the various companies that
Mm-hmm.
I held, and I learned like how a real world threat actually operates, how
Okay.
sophisticated techniques they use, how sophistication at their level actually works. That I got to know various stuffs like I actually I want to go deep into it, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
that most of them is non-disclosure, so I can't really tell you about that. But I would say that
Okay.
the most interesting part was learning how actually bad actors are actually utilizing the vulnerabilities and the chains, and a lot of time it's social engineering that's involved, and various stuff like that. Like, it's really interesting.
Okay. Okay. And you have experience with social engineer and vision too. I know that. And what makes human so an effective target for attackers? Because, like you said, okay, you already studying about social engineering, phishing, things like that, and you probably practice too this type of techniques. And in your opinion, what makes human such an effective target for attackers?
I won't say that I'm an expert at social engineering. To be honest, I am 15 years old and I don't really have all that much experience with humans. So I can't really tell, based on experience level and how to talk with them and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. But the most of the time, as I said, while working with cybercrime and stuff like that, the things that mostly worked were the attackers were doing wishing, and by wishing wishing attacks were like more of the background is having a lot of noise. Okay. And the
Mm-hmm.
attackers are more of trying to give the least amount of information, yet they have
Mm-hmm.
they do research a lot on the like on how the company is operating and how their customer service is working. And like most of the time they try it by calling them like the customer service a lot of time. It's more
Mm-hmm.
most of the time it's the customer service, they try when they are actually attacking a customer service, they try to probe, okay, the humans that are present at the customer service, who aren't really very educated about security stuffs, and
Yeah.
they try to probe as much information around how they are actually working, like what's their shift, and stuffs like swaying with your words, right? It's all about playing with your words, and they make their words seem so credible that the customer service people ends up actually believing in them, and and such stuffs there are
Yeah.
like I would say humans, it's that just I believe that the best way of doing social engineering at this point is leaving a breadcrumb. Okay, you leave some breadcrumbs,
Mhm.
the human mind automatically, like you are intentionally leaving cues in your words that ends up making the person in front of you correlate those cues, and they feel that they have realized something, but the thing that they
Mhm.
have realized is actually what the attacker wanted them to realize. Okay. like uh,
Mhm.
in most of the scenario it's cues that the attackers give to the humans, and try to play with their psychology a lot, and try to make them click on links and do stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that because, I recorded another episode with Teresa, and we talked with her about. about social engineering and things like that. And this is really, really true. And I agree with that many businesses don't have security training awareness. And probably this is okay, the major problem for many businesses. And I know that you have uh, knowledge in program language, hacking, a social engineer, and I know that you also have knowledge in forensics, malware analysis. How this, how do these skills, let me how to explain this, help you become a better pen tester and threat hunter, because you need to combine all of the stuffs to really to be a better pen tester and threat hunter, because it's not only about how to exploit one system, it's how to organize all of these informations to be a great threat hunter,
Threat
and how to, yeah.
hunting, to be honest, I don't really have much experience about threat hunting. But
Hmm.
organization part, I don't really have a really great idea around threat hunting, I guess.
Yeah, because okay, you probably think that you don't have experience with threat hunting, but if you stop it to think, you find many vulnerabilities and you have many techniques that not sometimes not intentionally, you don't think yet about that, but you already do the job of threat hunter. You needed to believe in it. Trust me, bro. And then, but if you basically join all skills that you have, for example, skills with penetration testing, malware analysis, and things like that, you really, really combine all of that to be a better pen tester, and probably, I don't know, but in the future, a big cyber threat hunter. This is just my think, but this question is for you. How you organize all of these skills to, okay, to be a better pen tester. Okay, you think about forensics and malware analysis and all those skills that you have to become a better pen tester.
Like, you want to know how I correlate them and interconnection, that stuff you want to know?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I said,
Can you?
do you want to know
Mhm.
about the stuffs like that I said about
Yeah.
forensics, interconnection, that stuff you want to know?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, okay, okay.
Because
That I can explain.
because
That I
you
can
have,
surely explain.
yeah,
Uh,
basically you have many, you have, okay, with only 15 years old, you have experience with many different areas. I know many professionals, I have friends that is just focused on malware analysis, and others that are focused only in forensics, but you have many of these skills, and how you basically join all of these techniques and knowledge to be a good, how okay, let me try to reformulate this, but how this help you to be a better pen tester.
okay, first off, I would like to say that the best part about cybersecurity that I love the most, aside from everything else, is security research. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I like to deep dive and do a lot of security researches around stuffs,
Mm-hmm.
uh, in the hope that someday that I would end up breaking the entire internet. Like, I love RCs a lot, and the moment I feel that any field, that a certain knowledge would help me, like ending up with a RCE, In that condition, I do learn them. Like for example, you said forensics and malware analysis and like malware development. So like malware development, most of the time the forensics that you would do, it would show you that at like forensics can be used to understand how is a of a malware signature of a malware seemingly executing at the backend, or I believe you can say that forensics. If you know forensics deep enough, you can actually predict pretty much how would evasion actually work. Like for example, there is an antivirus, and that checks for a certain like that has a certain filters of certain stuff. You can essentially, if you understand forensics very well, you can try to use the knowledge at how forensics worked and what were the cues, like what were the leaks or the stuffs that you found through forensics in a malware. You can try to find ways around it such that you can escape forensics in a condition. Like
Okay.
for example, we have malwares, right? Right now, like if we use malwares that can auto like reverse executing malwares, for example, like if there is a malware that can execute from top to down and bottom to up, in that condition what you would say, uh, evasive scenario can be created. The EDR obviously can't detect such stuffs, like the detection guys at that point, because in most of the scenarios the antivirus just scans them from top to bottom. Okay, but they never usually expect the malwares to actually execute the code from bottom to up. Okay, like for example, now we write a malware in assembly. Now we make a assembly based malware. Then we used a stripped down version. Like we put that malware inside a child process. Okay, in the main process we are using a debugger, like for example GDB. We can see that it can trace back, right? Like for example, let me explain it well. First, a GDB or a debugger's work is to trace back the stuffs, right? Obviously, for analysis purposes, its work is to trace back the assembly that is being executed, or the code that is being executed, and it works in a reverse scenario. Like it works reverse, unlike the top to down. It lets you see the code from bottom to up, right?
Okay.
So if you use a stripped down version of GDB, okay, and put your assembly and make the assembly in a way that it can be executed from bottom to up, and now you have written a malware that can be executed from up to down and bottom to. But yeah,
Yeah.
but we now have the assembly code, correct? Now we want that the program should actually execute it from bottom to down, because obviously if it executes it from top to bottom, it would end up with, like, it would end the process, right? But we want the program to actually execute it from bottom to up again, right? So
Okay.
in such scenario, what we can do is we can use GDB, or the code of GDB, and strip it down to the part that is tracing back the assembly. We can put it there in the main process, and once the execution from top to down, top to bottom executes, after that you can have the debugger execute it again from bottom to up. And most of the scenario, the malwares that you like the detection stuff only see the malware executing from top to bottom, correct? But
Okay.
here you are using a GDB at the end of the assembly to actually put it back from, like, you execute it from top to bottom. Now the execution has ended. Now you have the debugger. It would take the code and it would make it execute the same instructions from bottom to up. Okay.
Okay.
This is
Okay. This is really interesting because I love to talk about reverse engineer and the antivirus evasion, and you usually use one specific sandbox test that you have one that you like more to use one specific sandbox, or you create by yourself your own sandbox.
I You can say I like to use the pre-existing ones. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
a personal favorite. I use depending upon the type of malware it is.
Mm-hmm.
For if it's a malware that gets embedded in a Windows process, for example, it is getting embedded as a fan, like the fan we have. It is getting
Mm-hmm.
executed by the process ID of a fan. You you got to find a sandbox that can let you actually probe around the stuffs that
Yeah. Okay.
a malware is actually doing.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. And I have another. Okay, you are ranked in top 4% on Try Hack Me, bro. This is not for other people, and even build content there. This is really really amazing because you not only ranked on the top 4%, but you really you even build content that. And in your opinion, how do platforms like TryHackMe help young hackers like you grow their skills? Because TryHackMe, okay, many hackers and many youngers, many people like me, and you use this platform to grow skills. And how these platforms help young hackers like you grow their skills?
Uh, for my situation, I don't like to solve.
Usually, try hack me. This is totally different.
No, I usually actually like to dive right into the real world scenarios more than a lab that is intentionally kept vulnerable, because there is no fun in hacking a vulnerable lab that is already vulnerable. We know that it is vulnerable, and that's actually no fun. Like, you don't have that thrill of unknown. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
in try hack me and stuff, they do help. I won't say that they are not gonna help for young people like me who might start at my age. Like, for them, I guess try hack me would help them with trying to provide more more hackable scenarios. Like, they, because a majority of the time I say try hack me labs are usually inspired by real world scenarios, as they claim.
Mm-hmm.
The labs that are present there are of pretty good quality, I guess. So
Mm-hmm.
they do get you a pretty great kickstart. Uh, but the real fun is, I guess, that the most of the learning process that you learn is through real world grinding. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. And it's really a good insightful. I know that you also a mentor for IT students. What advice you give them when they feel stuck in technical challenges? Because you're some mentor for many students, and let me know what advice you give them.
Uh, like, for As for the mentor part, I guess it's most of the time like they are stuck into like majority of the time many people that I know come to me saying that this lab is not working itself, but it ends up with their own mistakes. So most like they are really restless. First off, they don't really want to do the stuffs by themselves. Okay, like I at my time I used to uh, scrape the entire internet if required to solve a error that because I know that today I might be able to solve it by asking someone or something. But in condition that a problem that occurs to me might appear again in uh, in the future, and at that point I won't be able to actually resolve it by myself, and that's a pretty bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
so I usually
Mm-hmm.
advise them to try to solve as much as they can by themselves. Like suppose for example there is a ssr situation they are trying to solve, or something like that. And they say me that they aren't able to actually fetch any information out of it. So that before me solving their problems, I give them a few hints if required, if they are at that level extent. And if they aren't actually they have tried their 100% and are still aren't able to do it, only in that condition do I help them. Like cause
Okay.
I want that the people that come to me to be able to solve those problems in the future by themselves, such that they don't won't really require me again. That's
Yeah,
one.
it's really yeah, it's really a good advice for them. I really agree with you. And bro, many people, including me, see your age and they are surprised with all of the things that you said so far. How do you deal with people who sometimes doubt your skill just because you are young?
Uh, to be honest, like I don't really like to be too much highlightive. I like to be low profile most of the time. But when it is
Mm-hmm.
required and the person in front of me is actually insulting me or doing something that makes me feel bad, at that point when I get triggered, I like in that scenario, most of the time, my like what I do is um, like so like now suppose someone actually insulted me for my age
Mm-hmm.
and they doubted my skills. I won't really entertain them
Mm-hmm.
unless it is an opportunity for me to grow. Okay, the people that
Mm-hmm.
come on LinkedIn and say, oh, you're a hacker, show me your reports. Why should I show you, man? Like, you show me your reports first. Like, do you have any authority to ask me this stuff? And if
Mm-hmm.
even in that condition, I just ghost many of them, because it doesn't really
Yeah.
matters. Like their
Yeah. This
opinion,
is this.
their opinion won't really matter. Someday I would go to Black Hat and be the keynote someday, and at that
Yeah.
point, at that point,
Yeah. This makes sense. Makes
I,
sense because
I make
okay.
I actually follow one rule that make your work speak for you more than your mouth.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
guys who would doubt me, I would just have to make enough achievements and enough like big enough of a achievement for them to shut up for their entire life, not by speaking to them and by confronting them. Instead, I just leave them be. Like they can just end up with jealousy and everything they want. I won't really care about it, and I would just keep progressing forward, because I believe that I started I every time I feel that these guys are doubting me and I feel bad, I remember my initial ages when I started bug hunting and hacking and even coding. So at that point,
Mm-hmm.
it was like pure curiosity, right? And at that point, I didn't even knew recognition existed in this field. So why am I getting all so tensed over it? Like I'm just following my passion. Like what the hell?
Yeah, yeah. It really makes sense. You really needed to avoid this type of
Yeah,
people
exactly.
around you because when people talk with you, I'm having this conversation with you, I really can feel and I really can see that you have a lot of experience, technical experience, because you really have a certain what you say, and this is really amazing, and you just need to, this is my recommendation for you. You needed to avoid this type of people, and you needed to join with people that help you to grow. Okay, and this is okay, this is my only my advice for
and
you.
uh, and to be
And
honest, like for
mhm,
opportunities, even opportunities, I believe that I believe
mhm,
this is a strong belief that I have, that even if there is a scenario where I am missing out on an opportunity, or in a scenario at this point, I believe that most of the people believe that if they get into contact with someone who is really good at hacking and is at a high profile, okay, they would their own
mhm.
skills would develop due to them, due to their opportunities. But I believe that
Yeah,
you make the opportunities by yourself. I believe that
yeah,
you the skills you develop isn't by the connections you build, but by the knowledge you have. Like if you have enough knowledge, you won't ever need connections with anybody. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
like
for sure, for
like
sure.
if you can find vulnerabilities in Google, and if you can find a lot of like internet breaking stuff, you won't really need connections. They would come to you yourself.
Yeah, yeah. It's this is really makes sense, and thank you for that. And let's look to the future with AI, automation, new attacks, new techniques. Diseases are really growing fast. And how do you see the role of young hackers in the next, okay, 5 to 10 years? What do you think that AI right now? Because okay, in my age right now, I am 31 years old. Um Probably okay and a half of your if your age. Um, you have I have okay basically you have the okay the half my age. Um, and but in my age don't I don't have access with AI and things like that, that right now it's more easy to just talk with a prompt and receive codes basically automatically, complex codes basically automatically. And how do you see the whole of young hackers in the next 5 years? I know that this is one question that's really hard to answer, but in your opinion, how do you think?
Like to be honest, it
How do
isn't
you see?
it isn't really all that hard, that all that much hard as people are saying it. Just that AI at this point is all based on pattern recognition. As we all know, it just tries to pattern recognize the entire thing. If you say it like for example hello, then it has a
Mm-hmm.
whole set of paragraphs written around hello and what might be a relatable answer for that scenario. Okay, so at this
Mm-hmm.
point that I see, like ChatGPT, it doesn't really executes the code by itself. The agentic AIs that you are seeing are doing everything by not actually reasoning anything, but by pattern recognizing anything, like everything. Like for example, you have this code. I asked it to make me a
Mm-hmm.
variable and do this, and I prompt it to do all this stuff. Or in fact, I don't even give that all that information. I just say build me a website which has a login portal. Now what it would do, it would see login portal. Okay, login portal, login portal seems to be like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. And it would try to make a graph. If like I have
Mm-hmm.
learned AI a bit myself, to gain proper understanding of how AI actually works. And I saw that
Mm-hmm.
most of the time it suggests that they are trying to get a outcome which is most probabilistically relatable to all the codes that it has in its dataset. Okay, like
Mm-hmm.
I believe that in today's game, like the today's AI generation, the leaders that are that Gemini, Cloud, then ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and stuffs like that. Why are they so special, and why haven't uh, AI startup yet uh, to become that big, or why is a AI startup not gonna become all that big as compared to them? First off, there are copyright issues. Like you can't just go on the internet and just scrape all of the information out. Like go on Facebook and train your data set over it. First, you need a lot of retraining, and it takes billions of dollars. For example, even chat gpt yet the chat gpt 5 we use, the gpt 5 we have currently, is the fifth retraining that the chat gpt has gone through. That's why it is named as chat gpt 5. Correct. In that scenario,
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that retraining a AI takes a lot of billions of dollars. Okay. Then there
Mm-hmm.
is this thing that the AI is based on the data set that the company has. For example, if you want to do a lot of deep research and gain a lot of a deep understanding of a situation, you should go to Gemini, because Google has their own search engine, their own YouTube, like the video engine, the biggest video platform in the world. They have two big potential uh, advantages over all the other startups. They won't let others use their information to actually train their own data set, but they use their own data sets to, like, obviously these companies have their own leverage, right? For example,
Mm-hmm.
Gemini is great today for a deep research because it has the search engine with it. uh, you would
Mm-hmm.
see Grok is great today because it has X today. Okay, like
Mm-hmm.
X is backing it up. So for Grok, like if you want a news coverage, you can go to Grok. If you want deep research, you can go to Gemini. If you want like image generation, you can go to ChatGPT. Like because ChatGPT used used internet and got a few copyright issues, and it's still the legal battles are still going on it. And the chat gpt, the majority of its data set it trained through the micro. Okay. so
Okay.
so why I explained you how the leaders are and the stuffs are, is to make you gain a better understanding of how actually AI at this level is working. And if you see
Mm-hmm.
the AIs today, it can't reason. It has lot of hallucination issues with it. It has a lot of like the it can be swayed if the guardrails aren't placed properly. And I believe that AI at this current point, or in the future few decades, at least 20 years I predict, at least till
Mm-hmm.
20 years, the humans that use like these GPTs and these AIs to gain their own knowledge and gain their own skills. Like today, if you are relying on it for codes and you're becoming a
Mm-hmm.
zombie, that's not the correct use of
Mm-hmm.
AI. The correct use of AI at this point would be to actually use it to gain the insights around that specific field. Like
Yeah.
it can structure a lot of unstructured data that is provided around the internet. You don't have a structured knowledge base or a roadmap sort of stuff. You don't get usually. You can actually probe yourself. You can reflect on yourself through an AI. Okay, that's how
Mm-hmm.
the AI should actually be used. AI is not your doom. It is just that you need to start getting adaptive to it. Now, when a lot of computers came, and when a lot of machineries came, the guys who were doing such stuffs manually came to an end. You just have to become more adaptable. You have to so for example, you want to survive AI waves, you have to learn how to hack
Mm-hmm.
AI itself. You have to learn how AI works. You have to learn how you have your own unique edge. Like first off, the guys who are copy pasting stuffs, their job would
Yeah.
end. their job would end.
Mm-hmm.
But the guys who are original thinkers, they would have original leverage. Why? Because the because as I said, AI is based on pattern recognition, and if you end up doing something which isn't in its billions of data set, it would obviously not be able to predict or do that stuff. You can go unique, you can go creative, you can think, you can actually interconnect a lot of domains,
Yeah, for
you can
sure.
think at a deeper level, which an AI obviously can't, because it would only end up with a surface level pattern recognition, and it would only give you knowledge till the knowledge it has in its data set. Okay, the data set it
Mm-hmm.
has
Okay.
is its main heart. And if you know something that isn't present in that database data set, you can obviously survive in this AI wave. So the best way to survive in this AI wave, find your own unique leverage which AI cannot copy. Find a way
Mm-hmm.
or find a class of vulnerabilities, find your own gadgets. For so suppose there is insecure deserialization, and this vulnerability, uh, you got a for example, you got to find your own gadgets in programming languages which aren't covered yet. The original thinkers that are,
Yes.
yeah, the you haven't reported the gadgets, no, for example, the gadgets that haven't been reported yet or is not known to the language yet, and those are insecure deserialization gadgets you can use to actually gain a advantage in the race of RCE or in any certain scenario. The same goes with the uncovered stuff. So basically, you need to know, have a lot of knowledge about the uncovered stuff and the things that AI
Mm-hmm.
don't have. You just need to have enough
Yeah.
that AI can't have. Okay.
Yeah, you just need to take insights and you need to go deeper to really create your own tools, your own exploitations and things like that. Because right now, AI in 2025 with ChatGPT 5 and things like that, it's more hard to try to extract informations about how to hacking something directly
You
because it's really hard to try to extract something there.
actually, I believe that if you know prompt engineering a bit well and prompt
Yeah.
injection a bit well, then you can
Yeah,
surely have
exactly.
have it
Exactly. Yeah,
have it do stuff like that.
but for human people, let's say, yeah, I'm not saying for alien people. I'm saying for normal people. It's more hard to try to extract informations from AI or from ChatGPT. But bro, this was an amazing and inspired conversation. Your story proves that patience and skill have no age. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. And to everyone listen or watching this episode, keep learning, keep building. And Pavitra, like I say in all episodes here, this house it's your house too. And I hope see you in another episode here. And please say something to finish this episode.
Like for a final few words, I would say just gain your unique edge. That's all you need to do. Just do it and don't really think or end up overthinking it. Just have an attacker mindset and do it. Like that's the best strategy.
Yeah, yes, really, it was really amazing. And people, don't miss it and see you in the next episode of R19.io podcast. See you. Bye.